Hey, welcome back to the channel. In our next lesson, we are covering emergency procedures with our members. We reviewed the emergency checklist in ground school and practiced a few emergency situations over Italy. In the link below, I have Ripper's live stream that covers the ground school. Check out the description for chapters and my Aviation Plus store where all purchases directly support the channel. I have hundreds of BMS videos on my channel, content you don't want to miss. Go check them out. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. See ya. So yeah, it's kind of run through what you would do if you had a FLICUS fault on your HUD or your caution panel.
Flight control systems, double check with here, the FAC and caution panel, just to make sure it's an actual fault, not a glitch.
You said reset?
Negative. The FAC on your left eyebrow.
Oh yeah, you could do that. And another thing you could, you know where you check the 4 lights of your FLICUS, the test lights?
Yeah.
So you hit that, and all 4 of them should come off. If you have a fail, then obviously that one will be off. So you just make sure you have all 4. If you don't have all 4, you have 3. This is fine, but you need to head home. If you have 2, then this is not fine. You need to start looking for a place to land, and you might not have very good controllability of your aircraft. And also, you see the FLICUS reset switch there? Click that as well if you have a FLICUS problem to see if it'll reset, maybe if you do the switch.
Yeah.
And then after you do that, you can kind of test and see how your jet feels. Get some altitude, go left, go right, see what it feels like at altitude, so you can kind of judge the situation from there. 4, if you, like I was talking about with the lights, if you do that lights, do you know what I'm talking about with the test lights for the FLICUS power?
Yeah.
So if you did that and you click it and no lights come on, what would you do then?
I'd probably check the test page and amenity.
So if all the lights are off, you have no FLICUS, what would be the thing that you would do? You have 0 flight controls.
Probably eject.
That is correct. Yep, that's it. That's about it. Yeah, that's about it on that one. Let's see. So 3. If you're in the air and you get hit, you notice your hydraulic B is at 0. What would kind of go through your mind if you see that?
If my hydraulic B is at 0, I'm going to try and land immediately. I know that if I do attempt to land, I'm going to have to use the emergency gear switch handle.
Yeah.
And force the gear down if I'm going to attempt a landing, and I'm going to have to make sure that my flight controls are fine beforehand and see if the jet's even able to do a landing. If not, I'll eject.
That is correct. What if the airfield you're landing at, you notice that there's no arrestor gear or cable on the airfield?
If I see there's no gear, I'll make a decision on whether or not I think I can attempt a landing. If my B is out, then I don't have brakes, then and the runway is too short, I'll probably eject.
Yep, that's correct. And you can also, if you want to somewhat use your brakes, you can use the channel 1, channel 2. So switch the brakes to channel 2. It should work a little bit.
I thought this thing had also an emergency stop shoot.
Not this one particularly, no.
Copy that.
I think mostly the Greek Air Force, they have the drogue chute.
Copy that.
All right, let's go ahead and take off here. Start 1, taking off runway 05 in a 4-ship. 4. What would you do if you see a SEC, Sierra Echo Charlie, on your warning panel in front of your stick? Do you know what that is?
I don't remember what that is.
So it's secondary engine control. So it's basically the engine going into like a secondary backup mode, and that disables your afterburner. So it kind of like if your engine fails to a sense, it goes to the.
Viper, who you calling?
Sorry, it was wrong channel. Sorry about that. And SCC is secondary engine control, and it goes into a backup mode where your engine goes. It disables the afterburner, but it still gives you control over the engine, and it closes your nozzle. So you have about however much percent more thrust in idle because it closes the nozzle on your jet. So landing it might be a little difficult because you'll be coming in a little fast, but SEC is the backup for your for your engine.
I got you, thanks.
And then resetting that, I don't think there's really anything to reset. You might be able to do a because there's a SEC manual button. You could probably go into try to put in primary, then like go to SEC and then put in primary. That's probably one of the ways to do it. But I'll have to look at the EP to see exactly what it is.
Great. Where is that SEC manual button?
So it's like underneath your throttle. It's like directly underneath. It's a red caged button or switch.
Alright, yes, here right now.
I'm gonna have both of y'all turn off your HUDs. So yeah, 4, go ahead and switch sides. That little bump you saw, that's a non-verbal way to say to switch sides. So yeah, for the because this close, you should not be looking at anything else. So if the lead bumps in the direction, that's this switch to the other side.
Alright.
So yeah, 4, remember you could descend a little bit to keep the person below or above your canopy bow. There you go. All right, go ahead and turn back on your HUDs. Then whenever you get a chance, I want you two to switch positions. So 4 get in the slot right next to me, and then 3 get 1 farther away.
3 going trail. One, your center fuel tank is loose.
Is it? Is there anything else wrong?
Everything else looks good.
Got my AAR door open.
You can also walk through selective jettison.
Copy.
Yeah, tracking. I saw it come up and then it went down. I thought it closed itself again, but it's still open.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a neat little trick. Four, switch sides. Go to the other side. Alright, 4, I'm going to have you do the same thing that 3 did to me, the BDA. So once we go in the other direction, I'll have you do the same thing. So go ahead and switch positions and get ready.
Alright.
So this we usually do if like there's an oil leak, or this is how you could see if there's something leaking from the other guy's aircraft, or if their landing gear is weird, they don't have 3 green. So this is a good way to get a BDA and assessment of what's going on with the other person's aircraft.
Altitude.
Yeah, I think I remember in the last flight, prime days I checked somebody else's jet did the same thing.
Yeah, so the landing gear looked down, but it wasn't down. But it was down, but maybe not locked, even though he had the green light. So yeah.
guys. Enjoy your flight.
Yep, see you, Rhodey. Sorry about that.
No problem. It happens.
Alright, 4, is this you next to me?
No, that's 3.
Alright, go ahead and switch.
Just 4 or the whole flight?
4 and 3 switch.
It looks like your landing hook's down.
Hey, there we go. Good.
Caution. Caution.
And I think your air refuel door is open, I think.
Yep, sure is. Thanks.
Buddy Spike, 070019.
Alright, 4, go ahead and take the lead. So just get in front of me, kind of hold like maybe 340 or 350 and about 15,700 feet. Kind of keep it as stable as you can.
Viper 1-4, Buddy Spike.
I'm gonna do a BDA to number 4 here. Slowing down there.
Wait, my bad. Gonna try to open 40.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's getting really slow. Like, oh, snap. Yeah, as the flight lead, you got to keep somewhat of a stable speed there.
Yeah, I've got to work in my throttle control a lot.
All right, seems like you got your hook down there, buddy.
Yep.
All right, you look good. One has the lead. Let's see. Go ahead and go arrowhead, so 3 left, 4 right. All right, we're gonna go ahead and kick out 1 mile. Then we're gonna jettison our bombs, selectively jettison our bombs.
Your current heading one?
340.
Great.
We'll do see if you can do a line abreast 1 mile like this. So just get as line abreast as you can. We'll do some cockpit stuff to see if you can keep line abreast. So at minute 57, go ahead and jettison your both bombs and racks only.
Caution. Caution.
4, were you able to jettison?
I'm trying to do it right now.
Altitude. Altitude.
4, you still have visual?
Yes, I'm visual. I'm behind the...
You know how to jettison the selective jettison?
Have it on the SJ page. I just don't remember what else I have to hit afterwards. After I select the stores.
So you're on the SJ page, and the top SJ should be highlighted. So you choose what you want to, with the OSB's buttons on the right and left. So it should be your TER and M82s.
Yeah, this is what.
Weasel. Viper.
And they're
Beautiful.
selected.
Yeah, this
What's up,
one.
guys?
So you
Are
should
you
be able
upside
to
down above us?
to
living up my
click it
fault line.
twice, and then should highlight both of them,
Yes, I am.
and then make sure you're in arm mode and hold the pickle button. They should drop
I
off.
thought that was R4. I was like, what the hell is 4 doing upside down above us? I'm trying to get up here so I can
Oh,
get
yeah, they're
the
off now.
middle finger.
And then make sure you get out of jettison mode. Go to normal
Uh,
nav mode.
give him the old bird.
And then go back to safe. 3, good job in the
Yep,
line
on
abreast.
your right elbow, you'll see anti-ice. You'll make sure you turn all the way on. I had the same thing earlier.
And turning right here. Make sure you turn your anti-ice all the way on because there's a lot of icing here. And then 4, kind of get line abreast with me, or get trail, and then go, everyone go echelon left.
3.
Alright, flight go trail. About half a mile or something relatively close. So if 4 you're tied to me, go 1 mile trail, and then 3 go half mile trail. That'll give you half mile separation.
3.
Flight safe fuel.
3, 8.3.
4, 8.1.
Copy. We're gonna be doing some follow the leader procedures, so it's try not to run into each other and try not to run into me. And here we go. I'm gonna give you some procedures to do while we're in trail. So just keep an eye on me, no matter what. Look at me or keep visual of me at all times. Hey 4, what time is it in game? What time does it say on your DED?
101.
Copy. Hey 4, 3, what's your FTIT percent? What's your FTIT degrees at?
After temperature at 9 right now.
Hey 3, what's your oil pressure?
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Yeah,
Pull up.
Your oil pressure?
Pull up.
Oil pressure at 60.
4, how fast you going?
400 knots.
4, what's your altimeter setting?
They're on mission, I'm pretty sure.
Alright, knock it off, knock it off. Got someone visual on the left side. Everybody get visual.
Hey, from.
3, did you lose visual?
Hey, from.
4, did you lose visual?
Nope.
Sounds good. Yeah, a little exercise to get the juices flowing and, you know, yeah, it's fun. Let's do one more. I'm going to have 3 be lead now. We're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to do a heading of north, and I want 3 to get ahead of me, and we'll do the same thing. So both of us should be 0.5 now, since you're tied to me. So I'm about 0.4 from 3, and 4, you should be 0.5 behind me, and 3, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
3. 4, what's your current fuel?
7.3.
1, what's the range on your radar right now?
It's 40.
4, do you have anything on your RWR?
Nothing.
1, what's your current range to me?
0.3. This is fun.
4, how much fuel are you burning right now?
Ooh.
13, 10,000 pounds per minute. Per hour, I mean.
Lock.
Three, Buddy Spike 16, 9,000, Bulls 324 for 39.
Yep, got you in the cloud. Still got you though.
One, what's the current time?
13:06:35. We got his
4, what
turbulence there.
Victor channel are you on?
17.
What's your current selected steer point for?
Say again.
Your current selected steer point?
6.
Out of it.
Flight, knock it off.
Knock it off. That was a lot more fun than I thought. His number is being in the back.
It's tougher than it sounds.
Yeah, it is. It is tough, especially if you find some arbitrary stuff to have them tell you. But you can really go in depth. You could just be like, "What is your current latitude, longitude?" Like you do all kind of things. And it doesn't even have to be like achievable. Like it could just try to get something and then say unable. Because you can always say if someone asks you something and you're unable, just say unable because you're either padlocked or whatever. So that's always an option too. All right, flight rejoin, making a right turn. Above this cloud layer, going up.
1-3, I got a avionics fault. Max G pulled 7.7, currently no factor.
It said 10.7.
Negative 7.7.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you should be okay. We're not dropping anything, but it should be okay. You just overpulled your probably your tanks.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I usually don't have a problem with the avionics fault.
All right, 4. Your engine just went out. It don't go out, but the simulated engine went out. What are your steps to try to what are you gonna do?
Put my throttle into off.
Yep, go ahead.
Then put it back into idle descent.
You got to make sure your RPM is at least what?
25 to 50.
Correct. Yep. And then yeah, that's about it. So do you know where the airfield is right now?
No, I know it's opposite north of 0.6.
So right now we're going. So it's really close. So if we're going towards steer point 1, and we're over by our first steer point, so it's close over here. Can you see the airfield from here?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Cool. So right here is a good position because you have a lot of speed here. So I'm gonna come a left here, and then we'll do a simulated engine out on the way back down.
All right.
Start simulated engine out overhead downwind 17,000, runway 05, 3 ship. And if you need to go around, by all means, go for it if you feel uncomfortable, because I wanted to do a couple of these. Dart 1 on the go, runway 05.
Okay, visual 4. He's crashed on the runway center. Looks like he has no gear down.
Copy. Alright, let's do this then. So go ahead and take off and we'll hit the old random errors and then we'll see if we can land it.
3.
Alright, 1 is hitting it 3 times. I'm gonna hit it once and then 2. Ooh. Seems like avionics fault, everything went out, HUD is off,
Caution.
APU,
Caution.
EPU is off, main gen. Caution reset on my main gen. Got my screens back, well, 1 screen back, HUD is still out. Engine's okay. Nothing still?
Negative.
Interesting. That's interesting. Well, I guess in that case, you could do a real engine out from here.
Copy.
1, hydraulic failure, EPU only, landing runway 05. I have visual of you 3.
Warning, 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 warning. Caution. Caution.
Landing with hook, I'll take the farthest hook. And remember, all 3 wheels have to be down for it to connect.
So we pretty much took off. We had some issues on takeoff, at least taxi, trying to figure out where people were.
Oh
But
yeah, same.
we figured it out eventually, and took off. You were trying to tell me what I was supposed to do on the ground. I asked you to stand by until we got airborne, and then when we got airborne, you guys were troubleshooting roadie. So we just pressed the flight plan. I called you, and we ended up turning off our HUD and HMCS. Did some formation flying and some other stuff.
Yep.
We tried a 3G turn right there, back a little bit, without HUD or any HUD indications. Turns out worked out pretty good. Lead took lead at some point. We were doing BDA.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. And I got stumped by the air refueling door because I couldn't see it.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta zoom in. It just depends.
Oh yeah, I zoomed in. I got the video. It's
Good.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And then the second time he had mailmen come up on him, and I think it was boards, hook, and gear.
Jeez.
Wait a minute.
Everything.
that?
Because he had everything down. Everything
Yeah.
out.
Board's hook and gear for mailman, and me it was just a hook and air refueling door.
Nice.
So I took lead over again, and we got back into formation eventually, right about here-ish.
Wee.
There's Ripper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ripper's upside down,
Yeah.
trying to give Lee the bird.
International relations.
Yeah, international relations. We just press back in, and then I call you guys, and you're like, "Hey, just go ahead and do some HUD out landings." And I crash the jet. Lee ends up crashing the jet 5 minutes later,
Oh.
and mailman lives.
Whoa. Oh.
Yeah,
That was that the midair collision? Almost. I heard Ripper's call something.
Officially, it was not almost a midair.
Oh. Let's see.
No, I knew exactly where he was the whole time.
As long as you have visual. I mean, I 134
Actually,
feet.
just after this.
No, it was,
So-
yeah, it was totally visual.
Oh, it's okay.
I think it's right there. Yep, there it is.
Oh, that was farther than the
No,
other
not
one.
Those two.
Oh.
No. The other two.
Oh, these two? Oh. I
Yes.
see. Do they get closer to 100? No, they don't.
134 feet is the minimum distance to beat.
I saw 194 as closest.
Yeah, the other one was 190 something.
Yeah.
There are videos of 47.
Yeah,
Well,
this is true. Yes.
Here is we got two mailmen. So there's Ripper flying in
I know.
upside down.
I heard you
How
was
long
like,
can the 16 be inverted for? Because the engine cuts out.
I don't
eventually.
think it's more than 60 seconds. Like,
Okay.
well, you're about to do the weird DNA fight, like in Top Gun. You're about to, but you didn't really
So
go to it.
this isn't Mailman you're watching. This is actually me.
Okay, yeah, you get into another jet at some point. That's the real. Will the real mailman please stand up?
Can you make the real mailman like cyan?
Let's see. Edit object. Color. Red.
what? I'm not going to be postal blue anymore.
Nope, you're red. You're red now.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Yeah. So we end up getting back into formation at some point. Pretty uneventful.
Whee! Don't mind us. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't see that. So we're trying to get into the runway,
Yeah.
and we're talking about Su-27s and MiG-29s and all this other shit.
Uh-huh.
And then I realized we're like 15 miles outside of the runway. We overflew it.
Oh.
So I don't know where you're gonna see that, but we
You-
turn back in. I end up finding the runway, and then I promptly crashed the jet on the runway.
Ooh.
And about 5 minutes later, I think Lee crashes the jet a little bit less violently than I did.
The scramble for the extras, the extra guy. Who got back in?
I did.
No, man.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah, I
Melon, did you die? Did you kill the
no.
jet too?
No, but my nose wheel was hung, so I just landed, and then I couldn't take off again, obviously, so I just jumped in another jet and did a
You
touch and
should.
go.
That's not what I expect from Viper flight. What I expect is you try to take off again without a nose wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
Make sure,
where do you
make
see
sure you,
where do you see my landing?
make sure you take a note again. I want you to take off without a nose wheel next time.
100%.
I didn't blow up, but that picture that Sioux Falls F-16. That's kind of what I
Oh,
look like.
yeah, perfect. Checks out.
Viper flight is better than nose wheel landing gear. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need
So
it.
I came in with 2 out of 3 wheels down.
What you're
And,
seeing here right now is us just splitting up. I'm
Oh,
getting a little
oh.
close just to watch.
Oh, right here. Wait.
I have, yeah.
Here?
No, I'm Mailman Blue.
Oh, I thought you were on the ground. In this person, I thought you were on the ground too. I didn't really register. Yeah,
I
Saul.
peeled off to give room.
Yep, and you can watch my nose spin as I attempt to land.
Yeah, you hit the ground a little too hard, which just bounced your jet, basically.
I mean, the angle of attack looked okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
it looked okay. Very marginal. I guess
And then
the descent might have been a little bit too much at that half a second.
I might have been fast. I don't know.
I think you were just a little too fast.
How much fuel did you have? Remember?
Lots.
Oh, well, did you still have the bombs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're pretty heavy.
Since fuel was roughly about the same, about 6,200.
Okay,
Somewhere in
and
there.
6 Mark 82s.
Yes.
It looks like the rate of descent was just too high. It didn't
Yeah.
land
That's
very
probably,
much.
that's probably what it was.
Because like you can be on speed and within all the parameters, but if your rate of descent is too high, then it just won't like it.
Plus he had
Yeah, I
the
had
6 bombs too, so he was heavy.
I had
Yeah.
a shit like approach too. So, and I just.
Am I the
pressed
only
with it.
one that actually fully survived the landing and could be towed off the field?
Oh, I fully
No.
survived.
No, I think
I
I could be
survived it.
towed off the field. And
Yeah, it's
I
towable.
don't know if it'd be towed off.
Well,
the field.
crane up, hoistable,
Yeah.
then towable.
Hoistable.
Yeah, towable. Yeah.
Hoisted onto a tow truck and towed off.
My jet didn't blow up. It
yeah.
just smoked a lot, and
Yeah,
then I
so- yeah.
exited
so did mine.
because I couldn't see shit. So I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, I didn't see an explosion, so I couldn't tell. And by the time I looked behind, right after I flew over you, I couldn't see your jet. I kept trying to find you.
There was a lot of smoke.
Then I hopped into another jet and did a touch and go, and that worked out real good.
Yeah, I know. Everything looked good after that. It's just.
I did
Honestly,
a no HUD touch and go. So
my AOA on landing was great. It's just as soon as I hit the ground, I pulled back too hard on the stick and tail struck.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I was watching you when you did that. I wasn't sure what happened exactly, but.
Yep, I tail struck. So, at first I had brakes, so I started alternating because I couldn't get enough rudder control and I was too fast for nose wheel steering. But then I lost that, so I just dropped the hook.
Yeah, it's like bloop.
Fuck this. Drop the hook, shut the engine off, try and do a JFS2 start real quick. No joy.
Is this you, Bono?
Yeah, that's me. I think my I pulled back too hard right at the end, and my rate of descent was too high.
Yeah, you broke the 15, maybe 16. This angle of attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was HUD out.
Yeah, it was headers
Yep.
out.
So there's that angle of attack I showed you on the picture. It's in the center pedestal. You can use that if you need to, but you can also use the angle of attack limiter on your right next to your left of the HUD.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to use. But then I kind of got too focused on just the middle of the runway. So
Yeah.
then I pulled back too hard at the end. Yeah, I think I wasn't lined up properly, and I was trying to fix that.
Okay. Yeah, you can always go around. That's always an option. I'm gonna go back to any questions or concerns on Gumps and Lee's flight? Mailman? Any reattacks?
No, it the touch and go went second time went well, and it's definitely interesting. You got to use your gauges, since your HUD's gone.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you use other things. Like, wait a minute. All right, forces you to use other things.
Yeah.
Good to know those things. So we were just doing some echelon left and right.
Prime.
Yeah, I like to do stuff like this. A little bit different than what we're used to, but the difference between being able to shoot someone and using your instruments. So it's always good to know what you're looking at as well. So we did had a improvise for most of this, but we did some echelon left. I did a wing tip at somewhere. We did some HUD procedures while in formation. So I had them turn off the HUD. I would speed up. That was my little wingtip there. I would have them speed up. I would speed up and slow down to have them not only look at the speed, because you should be looking at me. So have them looking at me and decipher how far away or if they need to slow down or not. Kind of using that part of the procedures there. All this would HUD out, switching back and forth. Did the inside turn. Told number 4 if he needs to descend, so you can keep me above the canopy bow. By all means, go for it, because you'll lose your lead real quick. I think here I had 2 or 3 and 4 switch. So now he's in the second position. I do some more left turns. Oh, left turns on the right. I have them switch again. We do some BDA stuff. I had my hook down in my AAR door. The huge, and yep, I looked at him. I think he had his hook down.
Yeah, it was just my hook.
Yep. Then I took the lead back, went back into a line abreast. So here was very interesting. So here I had them go into a 1 mile line abreast, and the exercise here is to be able to stay line abreast while doing stuff in the cockpit. So what I did is I had them go line abreast, and you know, they each their skill level. So I had them go line abreast, and I told them to jettison your stores at a specific time. So I said jettison your stores at 13:32 or something, and it gave them like 45 seconds to until the jettison time. And then at that time I would jettison, and I just made sure if everybody jettisoned. So 3 was able to jettison on time, and 4 was what was learning. So learning opportunity here. So he wasn't looking where he was. He probably was looking, but he didn't correct, because he didn't correct way back here. He didn't kind of put himself in the line abreast and maintain that distance there, just because you're looking in the cockpit. But it's normal to be line abreast and looking down in your cockpit doing stuff. So I kind of simulated it here with the jettison stuff. But it's all good. You'll learn it eventually. It takes practice and experience to learn all that.
That's weird seeing an attack view. When I was like perfectly next to you, it looked like I was ahead of you, like when I was there.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah, about here. Because if you have your pilot model, you can kind of look at your pilot model's shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and if they're in line with the shoulders, it's line abreast. That's a good physical
Okay.
thing to see, because it's hard to do it with track R. With 20 degrees is 90. But
Yeah,
the shoulders
I thought it
is
was
a
like
good.
way ahead of you from where I was looking. It's good to know.
And then they got into a echelon left. I think I turned HUD at some point. So turn HUD back on, and now we did follow the leader stuff. So with this follow the leader stuff, I had them say a half-mile separation. So half mile here, half mile there from this guy. So half mile here, 1 mile there. I would give them random stuff to look at. So I'll be in this turn to be like, what's your fuel, 2? What's your oil temperature, 2? What's your FTIT? How fast you going? What distance are you? Like, I would give them random things to look at, and they at the same time they would have to keep visual with the person in front of them. It was super fun.
That's evil.
It was fun, and yeah, he lost, and he's still on me there. So it's just good stuff to do, because when you're in trail, you're not always going to be staring at. You're going to be doing stuff in the cockpit. So it's a good little controlled simulation of that.
Hey, what's your oil temperature?
Exactly. It's like,
and then lead just turns over and
exactly.
then pulls down.
Yep. That's what I did. I didn't make it easy. So I'll be like, how many buttons are on your pants? And I'd like do a freaking 5G turn, and yeah.
Yeah, you guys did a nice job.
Oh man, that's fun.
Yeah, it was fun, I must say. Hopefully you guys had fun.
Yeah, it was a good flight.
Yeah,
Ours was not that exciting.
I think of these things randomly. So by all means, use this in other flights and other training stuff.
I'm stealing that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Then I gave number 1, or no, I gave 3 the lead, and we did the same thing. He went to a cloud. I had to lock him up for a little bit because I just lost him. He was gone. So in this case, kind of a little bit dangerous here, but I guess you had visual of some sort, but I can't look at behind me, so I'm visual with him only. So technically, the number 3 might have the hardest sense especially if number 2 loses visual, because he's kind of keeping visual of 2 people at the same time. Because this could have been a little bad here, because we're in the same plane here.
Yeah.
But it worked okay. Did you see me at all in this line abreast?
Yeah. Well, when we were line abreast, I didn't see you, but once you got ahead of me, then I saw you.
Okay. I hear you was starting to go into a cloud here.
Yeah, I think that's when I lost you. And I was still trying to stay focused on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't looking over here at all. I was locked onto him. He was going into a cloud.
Yeah.
He went whoop. And on here, it'll kind of go into BFM here. So right here, you're kind of pulling too much lead, or you're not pulling actual lead, but you're pulling too hard. You notice how I'm on the outside, kind of just putting him in like a control zone.
Yeah.
So instead of pulling that much lead, you could just wait.
Go to lag pursuit.
Yeah, go to kind of see how he's turning already. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then when he turns, I'm not turning as I'm pulling lead for a little bit, and then I kind of come up behind him to keep that distance, and I pull lag.
The dashed line is where your nose is pointed, and then
Yeah.
the solid line is
Your
where your velocity.
vector. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here, I'm pulling. I'm in a better angle than you are here, but yeah, here you're supposed to be like, if you're following 2, it should be like over here in this area. In a perfect world.
Yeah.
That was good. It was a good recovery there.
Yep, that was good. And I was like, rejoin. I saw you
Let me
visual.
tell you,
Came back.
what was your flight call sign?
The heck was our flight call sign?
Dart.
Dart? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had that call sign before.
Dart got a lot more training than Viper did.
Good. But you did get some HUD landings or attempts.
Yeah, we got some HUD outs.
And then my random faults wouldn't give me something actually bad. Like I pressed it 5 times. The first time it gave me like some weird station error, and then the second time it gave me a power, and I just reset my generator and it came back again. I didn't have my HUD or something. Third time it did it again, reset it again. The 5th time it just made my flickus a little weird. I'm like, what? Where's like? I want it to be bad. So
That's real, damn it.
Yeah, at the last second, I thought I turned off my engine, but I guess I didn't. I just went to idle and landed at the very end. But here we were simulating engine outs, so we were at a basically pitch perfect area to do an engine out. So we just went to idle, open up the speed brakes a little bit, and we had the 10-second separation to get the separation of us.
You end up shutting off your jet.
What was that?
Did you end up shutting off your jet?
At the end, I wanted to, but I didn't do it.
Because I was watching your stream. I couldn't hear you, but I could hear everybody else.
Yeah.
I thought you ended up shutting off your jet because everything went black.
Yeah, I wanted to. I clicked the switch, but I changed it so where it didn't shut it off. I just went to idle, had my speed brakes out, but I was thinking I had my engine out, so I planned as such. But on this one, we just simulated it. And then I noticed you guys were landing. I'm like, I'm just gonna go around. So I was serpentining back and forth I was going like 400 knots, plenty of speed to land. It's always easier to slow down than speed up with no engine. Then we just powered back on again. Went around. Oh, and this is when you asked me, are you low or high?
Yeah, because I saw both of you like doing the same thing. I was like, wait a minute.
It's like, what?
Who's who?
Yeah, I didn't even know he was there. No idea. Let's see, his mailman. Okay, he went around too. It's cool. This is when we were starting to. Oh, HUD out. I think it was here. Touch and go. And this one I didn't specify whether a touch and go or not. But he did a HUD out landing. He came around and eventually took off again. Mage didn't do as good as he wanted, but you see how the HUD makes the situation a lot different.
Yeah.
I think I did what did I do? A flyover.
It's a simple velocity vector, like the what do they call it?
Oh, the
FPM.
The
yeah,
tadpole thing.
flight
This
velocity,
is me
flight
taking
path
off again, I
marker.
think.
Yeah, FPM. Like if you put that on the end of the runway, you're gonna land the jet.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Basically.
But if you don't have that, then you got to rely on your instruments and just like feeling.
Yep, your eyeball to get the sight picture. So here I was like 2 errors in. I had no HUD, no MFDs, or something like that. I'm like, I have point. I didn't think my tack-in was working, so I said I have 0.1 on my tack-in. I think it's stuck. And then 3's like, I'm right next to you. I'm like, oh, I guess that checks out. So he was literally right next to me this entire time. I'm like, oh, okay. So after that, I think I gave you a option to do more fails, or did I give you the option just to shut off your engine?
It was for the engine because the keybind didn't work for me.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So yeah, he shut off his engine. I thought I shut off my engine, but I approached as such high and fast.
Yeah, you were fast on that last
Yep.
landing.
Because if you have your engine out, you want to be fast at all, which you bet you can. I had the alt gear, the hook at the end, so you're able to slow down.
On the tech view, it looked like he pulled a Harrison Ford.
Oh, yeah.
I was going like.
Oh, you
I
did
was
some
going
wiggles?
too fast, and I was trying to bleed off the speed.
Yeah.
But I think when I didn't give it enough time for the gear to come out.
Oh.
And they just didn't come out.
Yeah, when I rejoined, there was like 3 planes in the air, just stationary. Is that normal?
It was probably some desync with everybody joining and rejoining and exiting, so it was probably
Okay.
that.
Okay. It's interesting.
Yeah. So Power Day, you know what speed your nose gear comes down at? It's a certain speed it comes down.
We talked about this last time.
Yep.
It was 185.
Close. 190, yes. So it's 190.
there
So
you
you
go.
never really got down to 190, so that's why it wasn't there.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, so you gotta
I was trying to judge like the perfect spot when to dump the speed, and then when
Yeah.
I tried to dump the speed, it wouldn't go away.
Oh, it's like, oh no.
305 knots is safe gear extension.
Yeah, safe for gear. Yep. 305.
And what
So you could have
back to the nose gear.
If you know you're gonna make it.
Is it the gear fine at 305? I thought it was lower than that.
No, I think it's 300, 305 or something.
305.
Because last time I thought I oversped the gear when I had the issue with the right tricycle, but I guess it was just a random failure then.
As long as you know you're gonna make the airfield, so somewhere, I don't really know where exactly the runway is. Let's just say it's here. So if you have 273, you could probably put down your gear here. You have to judge it. It's all about judging. See if you can make it.
I dropped that shit at 304.
Oh, okay. So it should be.
Yeah, Harity, I had the same similar thing. I was well below 300 knots, and my nose got screwed up. My nose wheel.
Because if you're trying to put your gear down at 100 feet off the ground, it's not a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to know, judge that you're going to make the airfield depending on altitude and speed, and then make sure you pass through that 90 knots above the threshold so you can time it to get on the ground there. It's all about timing, and you want to worry about the timing in this sense, not when you're trying to return from a 2-hour flight killing bad guys.
This is after I rejoined. Just doing a touch and go, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Very nice, very nice. And I saw you take off and then you disappeared. Yep.
Yeah. I just exited the jet thing because I knew you guys were waiting.
Cool. All right. That's some good training there. Indeed. Questions, concerns? We ended early. We're trying to get these night. Try not to stay long on these nights because don't need to stay too long. But any questions, concerns, reattacks? Any of you have?
No, this flight was a lot more interesting than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's depending on how much you want to get into it. Lots of stuff that can be done.
Yeah. Hey, Prime, if we do something like this again and I'm leading a flight, we should probably hop out into a 5-minute session on what you're gonna do.
Well, I apologize, but that literally I thought of it as I was flying.
Oh,
So
cool.
it wasn't really I didn't have anything written. The only thing I had written down was the briefing at the beginning, but all that stuff I did in there, I just literally just thought of it.
No, cool. Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking if you had that planned,
Yeah, that's true.
like I feel like you guys got a little bit more than
And I'll switch it up.
And that's not a criticism. It's just like, hey, man, I'm happy to fly without a HUD and try that and see what happens.
Yep.
Right? But, yeah, cool.
Well, with the solo, so I'll probably see if Ripper's going. I'll probably have some of the less experienced guys do some solo stuff, and I'll take the more experienced, and we'll do something a little bit more advanced on this next flight because you got Lee, Howard, Bono, me, Rhodey, and Prom Date. So we could probably split it up to 2 different sessions because solo is just they're gonna fly out to basically gonna plan their flight. So they're gonna plan where they're going, get the ILS, get there with little to no help, navigation and stuff. So it's just like a mock-up solo flight to another airfield.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a good time.
I could probably be there Thursday. I haven't signed up yet, but
okay.
Probably there Thursday.
Yeah, I'll be there Thursday.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, every time I fly, I feel like I learn something. So
yeah, it's good. Yeah, as long as you learn something.
At least even if it's something unconscious,
Exactly. I'm gonna go. We started doing this earlier, but let's go do a 1-in-1. One thing you did well, one thing you did. If you need to leave, go by all means, go ahead. This is basically the formal briefing is over. But it's Bono. You got some time?
Yeah. So I'm summer break. I don't really gotta do much.
Oh, okay. So let's go over one thing you did good and one thing you need to work on.
I feel like I did well keeping tally on you guys during the follow the leader.
Okay, yeah,
well,
you did.
Still answering stuff. So I was actually checking instruments and anything, and I was able to still stay with you guys. But I still definitely need to work on my formation. So I was falling behind a lot, or I could only stick close.
Well, I noticed you did pretty good on the left echelon. You were a little behind, but you did keep pretty well. And then when I switched you, when you were closer, you did better than you did as the third position in a echelon left. So
yeah,
so when I got you closer, you increased, you were doing better with the distance there. Of course, because you're closer, but you were able to keep that distance pretty stable.
I'm still working on getting used to flying with more than 2 people as well, because you taught me the formation stuff with the 2 shit.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm used to flying with.
Yep. And another thing with echelon, so you have a 4-ship echelon, right? I'm gonna bring up a picture because that's better than using my hands that no one can see. Flight.
If you're not here, let us know.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically the same thing. Let's see. SOPs. Pull up the B course. Change windows. We have the B course as well. We'll go over that. We'll be doing that later on. But I'm using this because there's.
Is that next week?
The week after, I believe. The next week I'll be at Miramar, so I think we'll still be doing a graduation for UPT. I think it's just a flight into like 0 visibility airfield doing ILS. I think that's literally what it is. So you got echelon right here. So if you're number 4, technically you should be in formation with number 3, but you should be really paying attention to number 1 Because if you're in formation with number 1, it's pretty stable. If you're in formation with number 3, who's in formation with number 2, who's in formation with number 1, it gets multiplied the deviation of
Like telephone.
basically. So it just multiplies, and when it gets to you, it's like 100 feet. So you gotta stay conscious of where number 1 is and keep following number 1. So that's just a good tip. So if you're number 3, keep conscious of number 1, and also kind of see where number 2 is. If number 2 is getting too close, kind of go out a little bit. But in reality, you're keeping formation with number 1.
Yeah, I think that's my problem. Is I kind of think of it like flying formation with. Since I'm number 4, I was thinking of flying formation with 3 and just not really thinking about where number 1 is. Just keep formation with number 3.
Yeah.
I mean number 3.
Yeah, number 1. Like you're keeping formation with number 1, but you're also keeping an eye on the second person.
My apologies, guys. I had to send out several emails while I was waiting.
Oh dang! It was that bad, huh?
No, that was some other stuff that I need to do for personal reasons.
Oh, okay.
Several emails that I had to send out, but I could just not. It would not throttle up at all on the taxiway. I had 70% RPM, and everything was working fine, but my throttle would not work. I did try it in the KTO, and it worked fine.
Did you try? You only tried one jet the whole time, right? You were only going in and out of one aircraft.
Exactly.
So what I noticed, it might have been a desync because Ripper said your canopy was gone and people weren't in there. When I landed at the end, the canopy was gone, people weren't in there. So it may have been like a desync where you put you in the jet, but the jet was borked.
Yeah, the AI ejected as soon as he crashed.
So you were in a ghost or whatever the heck, that ghost of pixels in the jet, and that's why your throttle didn't work.
A ghost of Aviano.
Yeah. Oh.
There you go.
That's probably what happened, and that explains you going another not theater, but another aircraft in that sense. You didn't try another one in the theater, but I think that's what happened.
Yeah, that could have done it. Definitely. Well, my apologies, my friends.
Nope, you're good.
All right. How did everybody do?
Yeah, we're going through right now.
Yep.
Gump, go ahead and do 1 and 1.
Yep, 1 and 1. There's a lot of second ones where I failed at a lot of things. I think the thing that I feel like I did well was communication. Lee and Mailman.
Yeah.
Let me know if I'm wrong. I think we communicated pretty well.
Oh no, you're right.
Thing that I could have done better was knowing like the formations, because one point I had 3 on my right and 2 on my left, or 2 on my left, 2 on my right and 3 on my left. I wasn't sure. I just wanted to call a formation. I just didn't know what formation to call.
Well, 3 is a little weird. Sometimes I usually just say 2 left, 3 right, or whatever it is. I think Arrowhead is where the 2 left, 3 right, where you're in like a V. I think that's like. I think that's like.
I think
something.
I came to terms with the fact that we were in formation, and I knew where 2 and 3 and 4 were. So I said visual flight, and that was good enough. But in reality, I think I want to get to a point where I can call, hey, I want this formation, and I want 2, 3, 4 to do that formation. But I wasn't there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mentally. But as far as good, I think communication was good. And then for me, like personally, for me, communication was good, and just knowledge of formations was bad. But other than that, we had a pretty simple flight.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, that was partly our fault, Gump, that formation stuff, because we were just kind of doing our own thing. You know, it's not really your fault.
No. It's good. It's fine. Yeah. It's I wish I could have called a formation. I think the point that I'm trying to make is, I wish I could have called, hey, go wedge or go finger 4 or go this or go that. And if you guys didn't know what that meant, I could have explained it to you because we had plenty of time to do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the knowledge to do that. So I'm going to have to study those formations a little bit, I think is my point.
Yeah,
But
no.
you guys did great. We did a steer 6. We pulled around at steer 6 to the left, and I said, hey, let's do a 3G turn. Oh shit, we don't have a hood. How do I know what 3Gs is? And we tried to figure that out. So I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna feel out 3Gs. And we did it, and they stayed in formation, so it was good. Prime, you can press to the next.
Okay. Howard A 1 and 1.
My formation looked a little better in the tack end than I thought it looked in the pit. I'm trying to maintain the 3-4 o'clock position ish, and it looked better in the tack view. I gotta get used to flying a heavy Viper again.
Oh yeah, it was heavy. It was heavy.
But it improves. I'd probably try the that last landing I did again at the engine out. Make sure that my speed and everything else is all set when I do the approach.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. Did you have any aha moments? Anything you were like, I didn't know that at all? Anything at all?
Yeah, I didn't know what the SEC light meant.
Nice.
Before.
Cool.
So I did learn that.
Yep. It's secondary engine control, so it just goes into a backup mode. And probably want to start heading home because of the nozzle thing.
Yeah, usually I only get that when the jet is catastrophic, so
Yes.
I never really thought about it.
And you get that when you're starting because it's not started yet, and the SEC light turns on because it's in that backup mode.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it says to make sure that's out and you're 20 RPM before you start the jet on the ramp start.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why round circle. That's why that does that. Mailman, 1 and 1.
Okay. Things went well. Right off the bat, we had heavy weather. Right after we got airborne, and we all did really good. Busting through the weather, and we were still in formation, pretty much where we were when we went in, and it was pretty heavy there for a little bit, and so that was good. And the no HUD landings and touch and go that went well. Something that the formation stuff the whole time went well, like Gump was saying. Something better was the oh Christ, I was just thinking of it. What the hell was it? I've lost it. Oh, let me think here. I can't. Maybe it'll come to me.
Oh,
And,
it'll come to you when you lay down, hit the pillow. Be like, oh yeah.
Exactly. I was just thinking of it too, right when I was just getting ready to say it.
Cool.
Yeah, go ahead and go to the next guy, and maybe I'll remember it.
Well, do me. I've refreshed, so I learned again. I learned at some point, but I've probably forgot it. Is that B is I know how to correlate it now. B is bad. If you lose system B, it's bad. It has your brakes in there and your landing gear, so that's bad. A is debatable. So that's something I learned. Let's see. Another thing that I learned was I guess I'd noticed. I never really noticed if you're gonna have a HUD out and you say, oh, let's pull 3 Gs. There's not really any way to see how much Gs you're pulling. Something I never really thought of. So that's just
that's something that
something I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in the sim, you can't feel 3 Gs.
Exactly. Yeah. That's not a achievable feeling.
Yeah, we were scanning the cockpit. Maybe there's a gauge over here.
It's like maybe somewhere. Yeah, there's not. That's interesting. Never thought of it.
Ah, I remember now. The yeah, I don't. I don't think random faults are really modeled a whole lot really well. So I must have put my gear down a little too fast, and that's what caused my nose gear on that first landing
Oh,
to stay retracted. And either that or, I went around on the first time, so maybe I got going a little too fast before it got taken back up.
maybe.
And but one way or the other, on those no HUD things, I didn't pay enough attention the first time to that my airspeed gauge. I bet.
Oh yeah, you gotta look
And
down and see.
right, right. So the second time it worked out a lot better. And I was kind of oh, this feels like I'm going slow enough, and
Oh, like
you
eh,
know, you don't cheat on that stuff.
no.
So
Well,
so
good.
that's what I need. That's what I need to. If no HUD, I need to pay more attention to those gauges.
Yep, and it's really if you ever guys get a chance, if you do the I think the ILS is broken for the training, so if you can get the weather like really really bad, and then do a ILS landing with your standby gauges on your in between your legs. So turn off your HUD and just use those. That's a
Wow.
challenge, really good challenge to use too.
Yeah.
And if
Just a HUD.
you don't have to have bad weather. You could always do it just in clear weather and just like make your field of view only inside the jet and just follow the gauges. That's another good exercise to do as well.
Instrument landing.
Yep. You can do that in broad daylight as long as you don't try not to look outside.
Yep.
But if you have
Yeah,
to, by all means do it. But
Yeah, that no HUD's a great exercise. Landing, touch and go, whatever.
yep.
All right, guys. Is there anything else we need to cover? I'm about to bounce.
Nope, that's all. We covered pretty in-depth debrief. It's pretty good.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yep, sounds good. See ya.
Thanks,
I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thanks for having us, Prime.
Yep, see ya.
Yep.
Peace.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for hosting, Prime. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Later.
Yeah, I gotta head out of here too. Thanks for setting up, Prime. We'll see you Thursday.
Yep, will do. See ya.